Okay, so let's do this. Night 2, 10/17/2018, Times Union Center, Albany, New York. Second show of fall tour. Uh, First night, not too hot. Some good stuff. Not very impressive. This one, a little bit more impressive overall. First two. It's only the first two uh, shows so far, and I'm trying to stack them up against pretty much most of summer, which summer's a different vibe from fall, but so far, I'm gonna say I'm not impressed. I'm sure that I'll pick it up here after these first two, but uh, so crowd control opener, yeah, good opener. I've said it before. Uh, this one wasn't anything special, just a good opener in general. Nothing special. Then we get a chocolate torture, second spot. Not unusual to see it in a second act of the night, but this one was definitely an MVP. Probably, top 10, top 15 for me. I can definitely argue for that at least. It wasn't too, like early chalk dust or anything like that, in like 90s and stuff, or, maybe a 2.0 or chalk dust. It's not anything fast and crazy. It's definitely a little bit more controlled in this one. But for the most part, they actually made a really great solid jam out of it. Eventually, it exploded and just came out hitting fucking hard, um, harder than a lot of the night one jams from Albany. Honestly, clocked over 16 minutes, so definitely they really got into it, and I was definitely glad. I was a little bit uh, I don't know. I was kind of like, when it came on, I was kind of like, all right, this is either going to be good or they're going to fucking drag it out and it's just going to do nothing for me. Definitely did a whole lot for me. Um, I'll definitely put it for first set MVP songs. It definitely surprised me a little bit how good it was, honestly. I like chalk, don't get me wrong. I just don't. Every time I hear it, I'm not expecting to be impressed or to be blown out of the water or anything like that, I guess. This one definitely was pretty solid. Pretty fucking solid. Uh, Again, all of these dreams, needed to cool it down after chalk dust. That's okay. Uh, I've definitely heard it before. Didn't care for it then, don't care for it now. Thank God it's at least short, so I guess, I don't know. Could have been something else terrible that they could have played, but whatever. you know, I guess it's middle of the road. At least it's short. At least that's the good part about it. Segued into Wolfman's MVP for Wolfman. Definitely had high expectations, having heard the Dick's Night 2 one so many times in the last 2 months. Uh, is it going to be better than Dick's? It is, but it isn't. Um, uh, Page did take the lead in the jam on this one. Then eventually Trey just kicked the rig on and finally got into it. Jedi Trey coming out on this one. Uh, Big difference between this one compared to Dick's. Dick's I felt like was a little bit more. Both used rig, but more. Dick's was more a little bit more danceable. This one I would say wasn't so much danceable. It was more just really dark, reminding me of a 2016 throwback, dark and heavy. Trey's rig on this one, so definitely. Is it better than Dick's too? Depends on what you want. If you want 20, dark and heavy, or you want some a little bit more pep in your step. I basically tied because again, two different styles, but it definitely. I was hoping it would compete against Dick's too, and it did. So I'm definitely happy for that. It was a good version, great heavy version for the rig. Mike was even playing a little beefy on it with his tone. Um, so I wouldn't say it blew Dick's out of the water, but it definitely can compete, or you can at least argue if you want against Dix as well with this one. So Wolfman and Jacques is definitely stepping up. That segues into Scent of a Meal. Uh, I don't fucking care for this. It's fucking stupid. I mean, Trey was even laughing, or not this, but he was laughing and I didn't know when that started coming on. I'm pretty sure. I think it was that. But Son of a Meal, I don't care for. I don't care for the whole Phish hoedown. I don't want to listen to Paige's stupid fucking piano shit in this one. I just don't like the Son of a Meal stuff. It just fucking drives me fucking nuts. I mean, it's got great tempo. It's a hoedown song, but it's just fucking stupid in my book. It's not my thing. It's other people's shit. Whatever. I like fucking Wolfman. There's people out there that think it's the worst fucking song ever, but they like Mound, and I think that's the worst song ever, or I guess one of them. But whatever. It is what it is. I didn't like it coming out of Wolfman, but like I said, it is what it is. All I can do is just listen to it and give my opinion. NICU, holy shit, NICU actually exists. I fucking damn near forgot. Hell, when I heard this, I was like, holy hell, I haven't heard fucking this. I haven't heard It's Ice. I mean, what did they play last time? I haven't listened to the first night since last week. I mean, we didn't get any of that. I haven't heard like It's Ice. I haven't heard Timber. I haven't heard Stealing Time from the Faulty Planet. I haven't heard like any of those four except for this one, NICU, and it's like, holy hell. I mean, I don't know. It's just a matter of I haven't gone through Dick's, not getting really any of those. I don't think I even got any of those in any of the Dick shows, and then only doing like Merriweather before. So I mean, I only had like 5, including last night's show, 6 shows to really listen to. Kind of disappointed, out of those 4, only one of them's made an appearance. Maybe, Merriweather might have had. I just, I don't have the shit in front of me. I fishnet up, and I'm not gonna go search for it. That's just, me being fucking lazy and not wanting to look up shit before I do this. But I mean, I don't know. This isn't a fucking 3 million subscriber streaming channel that plays Call of Duty and do Phish reviews, so I'm not making money off of this. I don't fucking care. I'm not gonna put that much money into this. I don't edit anything, so whatever. I mean, that argument could just be null and void. But either way, I got NICU. Hadn't heard it for a while. Haven't heard out of those 4 in a while, but good placement. I was definitely glad with the placement. At least, thank God something good happens after Sin of a Meal. Holy hell, it could have been a train wreck after that. Nothing special about NICU as far as what they played for the show, but either way, thank God I got to hear that. Goes into Gumbo. I will mention for Gumbo, total fucking surprise on this one was, I mean, they only play like once a whole year, once or twice a whole year, but my opinion on Gumbo in general, it's more of a 90s thing. My buddy loves Gumbo. I never got it, and then he kind of explained it to me. I was like, oh, I've sampled a little bit of the 90s stuff, and it's definitely a lot more to Gumbo back then. Now it's sort of just, I don't think they really hit out of the park most of the times. I think it kind of, I wouldn't say they're duds. It's more just compared to what it used to be from the samples I've heard. It doesn't, I don't know. Doesn't seem like it really does a whole lot anymore. The 2016 Vegas Gumbo is without doubt one of the best fucking 2016 jams, first off. Hands down, gonna be my favorite Gumbo from probably forever. But that's a really fucking solid Gumbo. That's the only Gumbo I can think of on top of my head that I actually can recall that's worth listening to. This one, definitely wasn't going to come here close to 2016, but it's still, I liked it, mostly because Paige's keys and the solo in the song part. I liked a way lot better his setup he had with that for this show than he had in 2016. What he did with that, he didn't do anything special. This one I felt like he did a little bit something different, and it stood out a hell of a lot better. The end I didn't care for the old timey fucking little part, old timey like bar music you'd hear in like Red Dead or like a western or some shit at the end there. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, that's like the normal ending. I'm pretty sure the Vegas ending didn't really have that, but I mean it was basically it's 2016, so it was like fucking dark and Trey's rig just kicked onto the whole jam and just hitting the pedal, hitting the wah pedal, and just destroying your face with that one. Uh, I won't mention for that one. It goes into Steam. Steam actually stood on this one. I give MVP to Steam for this one, giving it a top 10 placement for this version. I try to recall. I don't know if I've ever heard of First Set Steam. Probably have in like 2010 or something. But if it goes back that if Steam even exists back that far, I don't think I've probably even heard one in some of the 2016 shows, let alone 2017. But I mean, not counting Maker's Dozen, there's only 5 shows. I don't know, and that's been I don't ever really listen to 2017 other than Dayton, since I was there. So I don't really give a fuck about 2017 in general. But I mean, this year I don't think Steam's been in a first set. Maybe, I don't know. Again, that shit I can fact check, but I'm not going to. Um, um, uh, Page's keys and the song part definitely on point. He even had good keys in the jam, giving him a little bit of MVP for this song. Trey actually did do a really good job in the jam with this one. Usually, I think it's a bit of a not a snoozer or a dud, but it definitely, this in a 2016 Wrigley Night 2, you guys could fucking blow the shit out of the way with Steam every time. This one's definitely a good version for what it is, but moving on. Who goes in? I didn't know. Oh, I would rather have Son of a Meal. I'm not gonna go into it. Set closer with Jin, MVP Jim, Jin, not Runaway Jim, Bathtub Jin. I don't know. Long day of work, so this is already a terrible review. Great jam. Definitely MVP for the set. I would say this one would probably compete against Chalk Dust for set MVP, but I'll definitely give it the Chalk Dust still. I could even argue for this gen to be a top 10, top 15 as well. So there's your first set. Set 2, Set Your Soul Free opener. Gave it MVP. Had a lot of great parts from everybody. At one point, I felt the darkness coming on. It was going to be a dark and heavy jam from Trey, but then Page cut on, did some dark stuff with his keys. And, Trey's rig really stood out with this one. As far as all the jams of the night, I felt like kind of went a lot of places. But then again, this jam's a little bit longer than some of the other ones. 14-minute. Clocked under Chalk Dust, but I still think it went a little bit more areas. Oh my god, I'm just a mess today. This fucking review sucks. It's probably the worst review I've ever fucking done. I will say this. Second set I noticed, I don't know if it was a soundboard or what, or if they have been doing this, but the singing on the song part was louder. Like, the harmonies the guys sing in the background and stuff, I felt like. And just when they're singing the choruses all together, I felt like everybody else I could actually hear. It wasn't just Trey and then some, the guys in the background. I felt like they were actually mixed to be on par with Trey, so you could actually hear everybody equally and louder on the same like level of mix. But I don't know, it was like weird. I noticed it throughout set two and the songs, but again, something I would need to go back and check if they've been doing that this tour, or they just, and I never noticed it, or they just did it with the soundboard or something, or they didn't do it in the summer, now they're doing it in the fall, and I didn't notice it from the first night, first show, maybe. I don't know. Got a little tranquil, dark at times. It's kind of weird because this one was like times it got dark, times it got tranquil, times it got dark, times it got tranquil, a little bit back and forth in this jam. Um, at one point, Trey just put the reg on at max. The peak build. I don't really know if it was technically the peak or the peak build up. I just remember at one point he just like put it on max and just it was just so loud and just had that 2018 sound really out there. Um, uh, the Segway and a Birds of a Feather was super spacey, and at one point, I don't know, I'm guessing it was Trey's rig. That was making the sound, but it sounded like something I would hear on a fucking Tool song or an album or something. So that was like Tool tease for me. It was like weird. It was like the weirdest thing I'd ever heard, and I was like, wow, that's something I'm only gonna probably pick up, Uh, Segway to Birds of a Feather, I was like, okay, his birds probably isn't gonna get jammed out. But I was like, oh, please, dear God, if they fucking just go lights out with this one and do a 10 fucking 12-minute piece, I'll fucking be so happy. No, wasn't gonna expect it, but I was hoping it would happen. Honorable mention for this one, they kind of carried a little bit of the sound from the segue into the beginning, so it was a little bit of a unique sound, and then eventually they just played it right back into the regular tone that you get with birds on their setups and stuff. But kind of cool, unique segue to hear it opening like that. Started a little slow in the jam, still had good tempo, but definitely was hoping this would go a lot further. Um, kind of almost wanted to go back and watch my favorite birds. I believe it's the Soul 28. It's definitely the 2011 New Year's run. I think it was the 1228 show. Um, I forget who it is, MK Devo or damn, I used to remember all those channels that have pro shots and good recordings from the shows. One of those guys did the 2011 run, and one of the first times I ever saw a YouTube video of Phish was that birds and just the lights and how tranquil it was. It was pretty fucking trippy for what I was doing at the time watching it. It was really cool, but kind of wanted to go back and listen to that after I heard this birds. Mercury, honorable mention. Surprised to get it this early in a tour. So caught me a little off guard, but I'm definitely down for Mercury always. Again, the harmonies and like background singing and stuff I know is mixed a little bit clearer. You can definitely hear everybody else in the background singing and stuff. A little segue part for Fishman going back and playing the little electric xylophone thing. Kind of quiet, but whatever Trey was doing on his rig was just a little enough that it made it a really cool, little tranquil bit. I've never really felt like that's ever happened with that part of the song in any of the Mercurys I've ever heard, so I kind of made it a unique Mercury for that. I gotta get better handwriting on my notes. They're so fucking sloppy. Page came back into the song with great keys. after the little Fishman part. Rig made an appearance briefly, but I think Page mostly was MVP for this song, hitting it with his keys. MV Page, MVP, MV Page. Um, on Mercury. It was a little bit laid back in the jam, I feel like. I mean, the song in general compared to other jams is a little bit more laid back, but I feel like in terms of like Trey and using his rig as much as he does in this one, wasn't there a whole lot. Made a little bit of an appearance, but it was definitely a little bit more laid back, and him not relying on the rig so much. Super spacey again on the segue. Went in the light. I was actually thinking about that in the last week. I was like, I want to hear a really fucking solid light at some point here in the next month or something. This one, not the best of the best, but honorable mention for this one. Out of the dark and spaciness comes light. Okay, jam. You know, still a great fucking solid one. Uh, Slowed down a bit, but then picked it up at the peak. I feel like I had a pretty quick peak, and then got right back and carried that energy right back into closing out the song. I actually like that. Um, Quick peak just brought the energy over. I don't know if I've ever described a jam or anything like that. So interesting, interesting light. Wedge, segue into Wedge. Yay for Wedge. High hopes for Wedge now. From now on. Uh, this one wasn't too bad. Didn't stand out to me. Um, Not because I'm always gonna have high hopes for Wedge. Just if I hear Wedge, I'm like, oh, great. I'm fucking getting into this one now. So I got big thumbs up for Wedge making an appearance, but good jam. Nothing special that stood out to me so much. At one point, I thought it was slowing down, was gonna get real spacey and tranquil. Didn't, but that's okay. Waiting the Velvety to slow it down. I mean, I like it. Some people don't. They needed a slow down song. They did it. It did what it needed to do. Moving on. Wilson, honorable mention. MV Page again on keys. Literally haven't heard this song for so long I forgot it even existed. That's what happens when you're fishing. You have 3,000 fucking songs, and God knows. Let's make a whole fucking album for Halloween, but don't play Wilson hardly ever. Whatever. Um, I'll just stop it there before I start going on a real long tangent. It is a pro and con of being Phish and having 3,000 songs, but whatever. Glad to hear it. Segue in the slave to the traffic light. At this point, I'll be honest with you, I was just busy with shit at work and had to get some rush order in real quick before I left, and I kind of just the most I got out of this was I like Trey's tone in this one and Page's key selection in it too. But it was still a strong finish. I felt like I just didn't get too into it just because I was busy with shit. And encore Julius. That's kind of Julius. I wasn't really paying attention. Felt a little bit laid back on the tempo in this one more than usual. Was what I noticed. Then get a segue into Rocky Top, and by then I was like, yeah, I'm fucking done. I just toned it out at that point. I was like, there's no way I'm gonna fucking give anything to a Rocky Top. So another Phish Hoedown song, and I just don't give a shit about Phish Hoedown. So I definitely checked out as soon as this one came out. I checked out already at Slave, checked out even more Julius, definitely checked out 100% completely with Rocky Top. But overall, I'd put this probably same tier I gave Night 1. I don't know. I think it was a tier 2 show. Maybe tier 3. I don't know. I don't remember. I'll definitely look it up before I upload this, but had a little bit more than Night 1. More good stuff, but overall, first two nights kind of just haven't been the best. run of anything, whether it's 2 or 3 night. I'd say this is probably the weakest run so far of 2018. That's okay, because Hampton's next, and here's so much shit about Hampton when Hampton came through, so hopefully believe the hype. Otherwise, oh well, it is what it is. So here's the ending to one of the shittier reviews I've probably done. I think it's personally the shittiest one I've done. I feel really off on this, but did it live. That's the whole point. So Hampton, here we go.